This is the Draft Guys podcast with Peyton and Niko coming at you live with a New Orleans Saints 3-round mock draft. We're trying to rebuild the Saints team and we're looking at their free agency class for 2026. Pete, what are you thinking after you see this?
Yeah, it's a lot of money dished out to three specific players, and none of them I'm too high on. This isn't a really great free agency class. The Saints have never been a team that I think has handled their team building strategies very well. They ended up with a pretty good quarterback. I like what they're doing at tackle, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can supplement pretty much everything else here in this draft.
Yeah, we'll do our best, of course. The Saints team's going to have three picks. And we're looking at the team needs. I see a wide receiver too. I think they still need a slot receiver on top of that, a defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback, and an edge rusher. We'll see if we can add them here with these three picks, kind of vary it up, see what they can do with the first pick, which is going to be at number 8. So we've had a bunch of different mocks, a bunch of different ideas floating around. In this mock draft, Jeremiah Love will be on the board. I don't think they go to the well a fifth time with the running backs. You got Maui Noah here. Carnell Tate does fall, which is super interesting. Some more guys down the list. Pete, what are your initial thoughts here?
My first thought is Carnell Tate. And I think what you said, just to revisit it, I think a lot of people would be surprised about the Jeremiah Love thing. This team simply has too many players on that position on this roster. Kamara is still getting paid big money from that team. They just signed ETN to a big contract for a 4-year deal. There's a lot of money going around to a lot of guys in that room. And so I don't think they're going to pick Jeremiah Love here. Tate's the first guy I look at. He is what you need at that receiver position next to Olave. They complement each other very, very well. There's no other player that fits the value here at 8 for me the way that he does. I would be intrigued at an edge rusher, but Ruben Bain's not here. And so he's none of those guys in that range or anybody I'm willing to take here. Um, what are you thinking? Are you with me on the Tate thing or what are your thoughts?
I'm with you. I just think that this is super realistic. You look at the draft and we think of Carnell Tate. Well, where is he going to go? Well, the Giants used to be a suitor. They're not really a suitor anymore. The Cardinals, like, probably not. The Jets, probably not. It would mainly be the Browns or the Commanders. And in this case, you got two generational guys who go instead. I think this is super realistic. I think we should put this pick in. It's the biggest, probably position in need on their team. They need some sort of receiver next to Olave could stay healthy and be good. We'll go to Carnell Tate here and we'll move to the next pick, which is at pick number 42. There should be super, super interesting to see what we can do. Okay. We love this guy. We've mocked him here before. Caleb Banks is on the board here at 42. You got some other guys also. You got Colton Hood, Pregnon, Brandon Cisse, D'Angelo Pons. You probably got a plethora of cornerbacks that you can choose from. Gabe Akers is here. Malachi Lawrence is here. So, Pete Dunn, I'll give you the floor. What are you thinking that the Saints team should do in this spot?
This is tough. I think corner here is where this is a really great board. There's about four or five guys that I think absolutely are worthy of going at this pick. And then Malachi Lawrence is the other name that I'm interested in plugging him into this defense. I think would be very interesting. I have a higher grade on him than I do Akis. So I think corner edge, specifically Lawrence, are where I'm toggling. Who's out of all these corners, like which one's your favorite on the board right now?
I love Colton Hood. I think he's the man lockdown corner that you need. Brandon Cisse, super intriguing. Colton Hood for me is coming at that 33 slot, just outside of a first round grade. Brandon Cisse at the 39. I don't really have a preference. I just think, yeah, I think you go get corner. I think you get a really good football player and a guy who's going to impact your defense in a position of need. So I'll throw it back to you. You're going to make the pick here. Pick one of these guys for me.
Let's do it. Colton Hood, get your boy.
Love it, love it, love it. We'll move to their next pick, which is at 73, and we'll see what can really happen with the Saints team. How can we make them a contender if we can in this one draft? Looking at guys, I don't think they're going to go quarterback. We'll look at running backs. We don't need running backs. We don't need wide receivers. We just went there. Tight ends, I think they have plenty there. Offensive line, not a good enough fall to pivot here. Um, Offensive guard Keelan Rutledge could be an interesting pick. Connor Liu is on the board, but I think this is going to be a defensive pick. You got some defensive tackles here. Dominic Orange could be a good player at that nose tackle position that they have. You got some edges, not the greatest fall at all. Very intrigued by that. Anthony Hill is here. That's going to be probably one of the best BPA on the board. We just went corner, and the safeties are kind of the same in this range. So, Pete, is there someone that you're really looking at?
Yeah, I'll throw you a curveball because I like to throw curveballs. Jalen Kilgore, the safety out of South Carolina, is a guy that I think is going to go somewhere in this range. He is a guy that is a really freak athlete. I mean, he is just you don't scout the helmet. He's nowhere near the player that Eman Wari was, but athletically speaking, he is absolutely that caliber of athlete. And someone is going to see what Eman Wari did last year and be willing to take a chance on that at 73. Saints have a history of drafting in that sense. They have a need at safety. I think that they could use. I wouldn't say it's a need, but I would say that you could use some guys, especially developmental guy like Kilgore. He jumps off the page for me at this spot.
I love that. Let's go, Jalen Kilgore at this spot here. They went Jonas Sanker last year from UVA, but they're going to go Jalen Kilgore here from South Carolina. That'll wrap up this draft for the Saints, this 3-round mock draft. And we're looking at the picks. You got Carnell Tate, Colton Hood, and Jalen Kilgore. For a Saints fan, how should they be excited about this draft?
I think you should be very excited about this draft. You got another really good man-to-man corner with Colton Hood. Obviously, you got my wide receiver one in the class in Carnell Tate. Not only do you get the wide receiver one, you get one that complements Olave really well. I've seen Lemon mocked to the Saints before. He does not complement Olave. They are a very similar player that play similar ways. Carnell Tate is a perfect complement to Olave, and both of those guys can function at a really high level at the same time. Kilgore, that's a much better pick than an F. I don't know why they give us an F grade. If you're a Saints fan, the upside there is tremendous. And so I think you'd absolutely be happy to spend a third round pick on a guy like that.
Big fan of this 3-round mock draft. If you're interested in any of our other mock drafts, you got to check out that playlist on our YouTube. We thank you guys so much for tuning in.